Battlehawks. What are you, a Nerf blaster?
How's it hanging? Is it to the left or to the right?
Renegade waiter. Renegade waiter. Renegade waiter.
And showing that they can keep up with the pace of the NFL.
Check razor. Red, white. We don't punt on fourth down,
No,
and
we
we
don't.
only go for two, baby.
All the conversations that are going on the field between the coach and the quarterback, the refs, the booth, all of it, the viewer gets to listen to.
14 left on two. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, best quarterback ever. Do not give those rules to Patrick Mahomes.
You're down by 9. You can make that up in one possession.
Why do you think I love Dan Campbell so much?
Yeah,
he
right.
reminds me of my father.
You
went D1 at Hader University.
Oh, what a way to start the show. Welcome back. This is Buffet Sports, baby.
Yeah, okay, good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Dropping heat like every season. Underdog like Willie beaming. Classic like Dom singing. Blasting like bombs ringing. I guess I define winning.
Recording in progress.
What's up, fucker? How we doing? How's life? How we living? How's it hanging? Is it to the left or to the right?
Neither.
Oh, it's in the center today?
It perches like an eagle.
Oh, what a way to start the show. Welcome back. This is Buffet Sports, baby. I'm Devin and that's Zane. We're going to be talking about the UFL today. What we're going to start off with, though,
You're
is...
a D1 hater.
I'm a college sport hater.
You went D1 at Hader University.
You're
Full
damn right I
ride.
did.
Full
Full
ride.
ride, bro. Full
No
ride.
academic scholarship, just full ride based off of your ability to play.
Hell yeah. Dude, my gen eds were Hater 101, how to hate, throwing shade, and I had a lab for
Eating
splitting
shit.
hate. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a lab for spreading misinformation.
That was what my lab was about.
Yeah, I aced that course, spreading misinformation.
A's across the board, 4.0 student. I was so good at the game.
Spreading misinformation with and then my next class after that, it was an hour-long class, slurs 101. Only
Okay,
a B
so
plus.
let's talk about the UFL because I was talking out of my neck last week. I had no idea what I was really talking about here. So we're gonna do a quick overview of the UFL as a whole, what it is, how the divisions are split up, who's in the divisions, and then some important differences so that there's just kind of we have a better idea of the UFL.
We understand what's going on.
Right. Have you watched a game yet?
Guess.
No.
Yes.
You have?
No, I'm saying yes to your no.
Oh. Let's watch one tomorrow. It's legitimately good football.
Who's playing?
We're gonna
Not
talk
interested.
about it. We're gonna talk about it.
All right.
So to give an overview, we were wondering how many teams are in the league. There's 8 total teams, 2 conferences. There's an XFL conference, so 4 teams from the XFL came over, and then there's a USFL conference.
So there's only 4 total teams.
There's 8 total teams.
I mean, 4 in each conference.
Right.
Okay. That
so
sucks.
There's 2 games. There's 2 games every weekend, or 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday, which is pretty good. That's that's reasonable for a spring league. It's a spring league football. It's spring league football.
Didn't they had more teams when they were divided? How many teams did they have?
Combined, yeah, because both of them had 8. But
yeah, both of them had 8. But I mean, you got 16. To watch more football.
But it was terrible football. This is actually really good football. Well, not really good. It's good football. It's better than college. I will say that. I enjoy it more than I enjoy watching it more than college.
All right.
So in the XFL conference, you have the San Antonio Brahmas, you have the St. Louis Battlehawks, who arguably have the longest standing tenure in spring football. They're the equivalent of like the Patriots probably in terms of notoriety in spring league football.
Okay.
Arlington Renegades, and then DC Defenders. That's the XFL conference. In the USFL conference, we have the Birmingham Stallions. We have the Michigan Panthers. the Memphis Showboats, and then the Houston Roughnecks.
What
So
a weird place to put these football teams. You would think like you would have one in LA, because everything's in LA.
yeah, I think they're going for markets that just like
There's no football team. There's very little to
right,
no football teams.
right. Like
I mean,
last year they
yeah,
had
St. Louis makes sense because they lost the football team, so then it makes
right.
sense for people to go watch them.
I think they're going to venues where they either have had football or they're such big football places like Texas. You can put a team in San Antonio and in Arlington, and they
Uh,
just love football in Texas. They're just going to
yeah,
show up. It's $30 for a ticket. I'm going to go. I might as well go. I love football. I'm just going to watch it, right? So
yeah,
fine,
a lot of
whatever.
prospects on the sideline. A lot of prospects watching too.
Sure. So it's like, why not put it there? There's enough to go around there. It's spring league football, whatever. And then the other places like Michigan, Memphis, Houston again, Texas, Birmingham. I don't know about those
Alabama,
ones. Oh, okay. So there
Alabama,
we go.
big football
Check.
place. Yeah.
Check. Michigan is a little bit odd to me, but maybe they've got like
It,
a
it's because of the flipping I mean, we hear about the what was it called? The manifesto, the Michigan manifesto. I mean, Michigan's
enlighten
a
me.
Are you serious right now?
Enlighten me.
The Michigan uh
I'm giving you a chance to educate me.
the Michigan coach that got fired and investigated because he was sending people to like teams to like watch their teams. It was the hand sign. It was the start of the
Oh,
hand signs. And like why
oh.
hand signs are stupid because that guy was a Michigan coach and he had a book, a manifesto about like his plan for Michigan and Michigan pride and all of this and that.
You're talking about he was an assistant coach.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was an assistant coach, but like
Yeah.
Michigan makes sense because like apparently Michigan is like a diehard football place that none of us
Okay.
really knew about. That's what I was trying to get at.
Gotcha. Okay. So that makes sense then. So all these are in markets that it's like they just love football enough to where they'll show up to the games.
Yeah.
So that makes somewhat sense here. You're essentially getting, like we've talked about, two teams to one in terms of talent. So you're doubling talent here. The quarterback play has been way better. The offensive and defensive line plays have been way better as well. The skill positions were always okay. And you see that in college too, across most divisions. The skill positions are pretty interchangeable. It's the trenches and the quarterback play that makes the big difference.
That it? Is that what you're telling me?
Oh yeah.
Trenches? You're a trench watcher?
Yeah. So there's an overview. The biggest change with the UFL in terms of watching the games, kicking is not a part of it anymore outside of kickoff. Um, After you score a touchdown, you can either go for a 1 point conversion, a 2 point conversion, or a 3 point conversion.
What is the difference?
You either start from the 5 yard line, the 10 yard line, or the 15.
I want to say we
And you
used
get
to
one
do
play.
I want to say we used to do this in like when we would go
Yeah, in
during
middle
the
school,
summer.
we used to practice it. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say we would go to U of I in the summer
Oh,
for
we
our
did this in
for
middle
our
school,
camps.
bro.
I
Do you
want to say
remember?
that yeah, you go. You go.
Oh, I was just gonna say we did this in middle school too. Like do you remember your dad used to do this? Like we used to practice. Well, we only went for two,
Yeah,
but
we only went for two, baby.
that's so never mind. That's actually just a little
Wait,
reckless.
hey,
Go
why do
ahead.
you think I love Dan Campbell so much?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He
You're right.
reminds me of my father. We only
You're
go for
right.
two in this
We
household.
only go for two, and we don't punt on fourth down.
Yeah, we don't punt on fourth down,
No,
and
we
we
don't.
only go for two, baby.
All
That's
right, go
it.
ahead. I forgot about that. Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I want to say like when we would scrimmage because a lot of the scrimmages you didn't have like field goals, so like the actual scrimmages you would do the same. I don't think that we had you get to pick one or two, but maybe in flag football, maybe or your 7-on-7s you might have like you start out from a different age. But I remember that. I remember that somewhere within these summer camps that I went to.
Yeah, so that's what the rule. So it takes the whole making a kicker that important. I mean, obviously they can still kick field goals. There's still field goal opportunities in kickoff,
That
but
kind of sucks for destroy.
but at the same time though, it adds a lot of excitement in the fact that you're down by 9 you can make that up in one possession. It's no
Yeah,
longer a 2-possession game. You
that
can
is
go
true.
down the field and you can march down. Oh, so let's go through the whole progression. Let's say you're behind by 9, okay?
Okay.
Or let's say you're behind by 10, all right? It's
Yeah.
the fourth quarter. So let's say you're down by 10 going into the fourth quarter. It's 3 minutes left on the clock. You march down the field, you score. You get the 3-point conversion. Now you're down by 1. You've scored 9 points, right? Instead of onside kicking, you can opt for a 4th and 15. You get 1 play to convert. If you do convert, you keep the ball and it's make it take it.
What does make it take it mean?
So you score instead of kicking off, you can opt for a 4th and 15.
Mm-hmm.
And if you convert, then you keep the ball and you drive.
Okay.
So you don't have to
What's the
onside.
take it part of this make it take it?
You just scored. So then you can try and instead of kicking off, you can go for the 4th and 15. So
why don't people so what's the starting position if they don't make it?
it's at the so you score,
Uh-huh.
you get the 3-point whatever conversion you want,
Yeah.
and then you start at the 35.
Okay. You're 35.
Yes, you're 35. So you have to go
Okay.
15 yards. So, or no, I think it's the 25 because you have to get to the 40.
Okay. And if they do not make it, the opposing team starts on their 25.
They start on their 25 or wherever the ball died.
Wherever the ball. Okay. Okay. So there actually is risk. I was thinking that they started
No.
they started in the red zone to
No.
like try and score
No,
again.
so you
Okay.
can try and make it, but the stipulation is you have to be behind in the fourth quarter.
Oh, okay.
So
like
you can't do it all the time, but you can do it in the fourth quarter. So instead of doing the onside kick, and their reasoning is, I think it's onside kicks only worked 5% of the time in the NFL this year.
Yeah, but
So
that's why
instead
they're
of
so. I mean, yeah, you keep.
right, but like 4th and 15, you know what I mean? You have 1 down to convert 15 yards. That's pretty rare. But at the same time, if you're gonna lose and you're willing to risk a 4th and 15, then you're willing to lose, right? So
don't give. Hey, all I'm gonna say: do not give Patrick Mahomes these rules. That's all I'm
Oh,
gonna say. Do
dude.
not give Patrick Mahomes the option, especially if he's playing the Buffalo Bills, when he is down in the fourth quarter, to go to a 4th and 15 after he just scored and then start another drive. Do not let him. Don't even think about giving him that option.
No.
Patrick Mahomes this season. All right. Patrick Mahomes in the fourth quarter. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, best quarterback ever. Do not give those rules to Patrick Mahomes.
No. So that's another big piece to this, which I think is a really interesting game mechanic, and I think is cool for the XFL and hopefully the UFL, and hopefully the UFL grows and we get to see this. But in the NFL, I think it would be too stark of a change.
Yeah.
The other thing that it came into play last week.
And imagine if Dan Campbell could take a 4th and 15 every time.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
So the other thing that comes into play here that I think should be implemented in the NFL, and I think is a great thing, and we're seeing the casework in the UFL, and I think with the adaptation that the NFL took this year with the kickoff rules, I don't think we're more than 3 seasons away from this rule being implemented in the NFL. In the UFL, you can use a super challenge.
What the?
Meaning, and I'll explain it to you because it was the perfect scenario to show off what a super challenge happened last week. If the refs just miss a call, it's missed. They don't call it. You can super challenge that the call was missed.
Ooh,
and get the call.
I like that.
So here's the scenario from last week. It was Showboats versus
Roughnecks.
Roughnecks. Yes, thank you. So it's Showboats versus Roughnecks. Showboats were beaten up on the Roughnecks all game. Roughnecks made a late fourth quarter push. Okay. Roughnecks have the ball, or no. Yes, Roughnecks have the ball in the red zone, 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Snap the ball. Right tackle's offsides by like two count, like 1,000, 1,000. He's offsides. Refs completely miss it. After the play, same player, same right tackle spits on a defensive player. So he gets ejected. But then the coach of the Showboats throws the challenge flag and they scored on the play, by the way, too. So they scored on the play. There was an ejection and there was a missed offsides. So coach throws the challenge flag. The touchdown gets called back anyways because the player got thrown out. It was a penalty to begin with.
Oh.
But then, so there was 15 yards back from the spot, 15 yards back, and then he challenged it for the
Offsides.
He challenged it for the offsides. An additional 5 yards back.
20 yards back.
20 yards back. The next play, quarterback throws a pick six. Showboats basically win the game from there.
Oh.
So you can see where it's literally game changing, because in a play like that, where if the Roughnecks score, they take the lead and the whole momentum's changed, but it's a missed call. So
yeah,
you can challenge it. I think we're at most 3 seasons away from the NFL implementing this.
No shot.
You don't think so? Why?
No shot would they ever give the coaches some sort of power to overturn the refs. No shot. Because the refs are a big baller around campus. That's what they are. They call holding on this guy, drive later. There's holding on this guy. They don't call it. And like the coach is going crazy. They get to control the game and they get to control what happens. I'm not talking script, just talking like, and they even have little dinners where all the refs will sit down and they will discuss what they want to call for the games.
Yeah.
Now, if they give the coaches power to overturn that, it's just going to be too much. And there's going to be so much more hate on the refs, because then once they start calling like, hey, you missed this one, you missed that big one, then everybody's going to be like, okay, but what about these other 5, right? We already do this, but now it's just going to be like, the main problem is that like none of us like the refs. None of us like how the refs do their job. And then now we're just going to shed more light on all the things the refs should have been doing during their games. I doubt it's going to be a thing.
But it's only once a game, though. That's the reason why I think it could happen, because the coach could save it for the end of the game where it's a big call. And like, for example, the PI that we argued about for the Chiefs, where he was climbing on his back. That's a huge missed call that changes the game, right? Yeah. I think once per game is reasonable. I think that
I argue that the NFL refs don't miss that. They see it and they think that it's late in the game. It's not that egregious. It's out of play, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that because that's all stuff that goes into their heads, like when they make these calls, like they see penalties every single flipping down.
Oh yeah.
So I doubt that they would give the coaches the ability to actually call like holding or call like a certain penalty.
The main reason why I think it's reasonable is it's once per game, but that's neither here nor there. So those are the big differences. There's one more that slipped my mind.
I like it though.
Oh, the other big thing about the UFL is that all the conversations that are going on the field between the coach and the quarterback, the refs, the booth, all of it, the viewer gets to listen to. All of it's mic'd.
Really?
So all the play calls, so the offensive coordinator calling in plays to the quarterback, you get to hear the whole thing. Defensive coordinator, they don't highlight it as much, but occasionally you get to hear the defensive coordinator making a call. You get to hear that. After like a 3 and out and the quarterback comes to the sideline, the head coach is mic'd up. So when he's talking to the quarterback, you can hear the whole conversation. Soon as there's a penalty called, they go to a live feed of all of the refs' mics and the booth. So it split screens into the refs on the field and the guys in the booth and the guy in the booth. And the guy in the booth is either overturning it or not and talking through why he can, why he can't. He's looking at it. You get to hear the entire conversation, all the conversations that are going on the field. You get to hear all of them. So that's the other big draw to the UFL, is that there's nothing behind closed doors.
NFL is definitely not implementing that. Mm-mm. No way. Bill Belichick would win 10 Super Bowls on his own. He'd be in the back with an old like army radio, like trying to jam into the frequencies in the back.
But the point is with this league, obviously, is to give guys in the UFL a shot at the NFL, right?
Mhm.
So the whole point is, yes, make the conversations privy to the viewer and to the viewer being anybody. It could be another coach watching, it could be a GM, it could be an owner, and they get to see, hey, I like the way this guy operates. Hey, I like the conversation this guy's having. Hey, I like the way the quarterback's doing this. It's a development league. So that's the whole point of the thing. Another big difference they have is there's headsets. There's a headset in all of the receivers' helmets
Oh,
too. So when the quarterback, like, they huddle up, yes, the quarterback's giving the play, but also during like 2-minute drill where it's on the ball, no
yeah.
huddle, the receivers are getting the play call too. So you don't have to get those guys to huddle. They can go out and you're just telling your offensive line essentially the coverage or the blocking scheme,
I
right?
like that, but at the same time, I kind of don't like it because I do like the on the ball and then like he's like check razor red white 14 left
Yeah.
on two. I kind of like that part of the 2 minute drill, but it would make it would make the 2 minute drill better, right?
The
But I
the
kind of like
point
them being able to.
Part of the reason why they're doing it though is because another big difference here is it's a running clock all the time.
Oh,
It's a running clock, so it speeds things up a bit more because the games are way shorter. The games are like a half in football is what, like an hour and a half, 2 hours in NFL, about that, right?
yeah, with the amount of commercial breaks, yeah,
In the UFL, a half is like 45 minutes to an hour.
yeah.
So you're cutting down on there. The whole point is fast paced, cutting down on things.
I don't know if I like that though, because it's like less teams, less amount of play, and then now when they're playing the games, they play for a less amount of time.
The
So I
point is,
don't
I
know if I
think it's
like it.
supposed to be, again, it's a development league. So I think the point is showing that these guys can play at a high speed and showing that they can keep up with the pace of the NFL, because that's another big difference that we don't talk about a lot when the transition from college sports in general to pro sports is the pace of the game. We talk
Yeah.
about it. It's a constant conversation in basketball, but it doesn't come up a lot in football. And I think this is a great example of that, of, hey, these guys are able to keep up with it. Because part of why backup quarterbacks are backup quarterbacks is because of their processing speed, right? So
Mhm.
if you can show a team that these guys have the processing speed and the ability to keep up with the pace of an NFL game, then there's more chance at them getting an NFL contract. So at the end of the day, the whole point is to be the G League of the NFL, right?
Gotcha.
Without really being it.
Yeah.
Without like being affiliated technically, it is. Um,
Talking about college, take out the flipping 1 foot in bounds rule. That's just such a stupid rule. Take it out. It
one
doesn't
foot
need to be
down in
there.
general.
Yeah, the 1 foot down rule in college is just so stupid. I mean, the wide receivers go to the combine and they have to put 2 feet in. They go and play the NFL, which is where they're trying to go. They have to
Yeah.
put 2 feet in. Why we decided, yeah, just have 1 foot in. Just so stupid. And it's just like them trying to be different without actually being different because it doesn't help a player. It just, if anything, it makes them worse by getting used to only putting 1 foot in. Yeah, just take it out. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to watch film of a wide receiver and see them putting 1 foot in bounds. That's not what you want to see. So just take it out. Like the wide receivers don't use it because it's a bad technique because they're all trying to make it to the league. Just take it out. It's like imagine if that was in basketball, right? Like there's a rule in college basketball that's like,
Well, that was the 3-point line for a long time until
oh, it
recently
was
when they changed it. The 3-point line was shorter in college. It was
how
maybe like,
stupid.
yeah, and then recently they changed it to basically being a NFL 3 or a NBA 3.
Yeah, just stupid little things that like the NCAA thinks is like, yeah, this makes us unique. Like nobody cares. Get it out of here.
Yeah. So all that being said, let's make our predictions for tomorrow. We missed today and we missed today. So we'll make our predictions for tomorrow and then we'll make our predictions for next week as well. So we got
Where are
6
my
games to predict.
slimes and my schlumps at, huh?
So we got predictions for 6 games this week. First one tomorrow, the morning game, we have Birmingham Stallions versus the Michigan Panthers.
I'm gonna go. I know nothing about any of these teams, but I like Michigan Panthers for whatever reason.
You like the Panthers? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Stallions just to be.
Do you know anything about the Stallions?
No, I've just watched the Showboats. That's the team that I'm going with, and that's the only team I've watched.
So we're shooting from the hip with a blindfold on.
Yes.
All right.
Next game tomorrow will be the Houston Roughnecks versus the DC Defenders. I'm gonna go
DC.
Defenders here.
So I do know DC lost, and then Roughnecks also lost.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
But
Defenders.
I I only know that the Roughnecks had a comeback from your little segment before. Showed that heart, that American heart that Roughnecks have. So I'm gonna go Roughnecks
You're
again.
going Roughnecks back-to-back weeks, huh? Okay. Now moving on to week 3 for Saturday's games, we've got Defenders versus Renegades.
No way in hell I'm ever choosing Renegades.
Yeah, we're okay. So we're both going
Renegade
Defenders.
Wader.
Renegade away to.
Renegade Wader. Renegade Wader. Renegade Wader. Yeah, give
Okay.
me the flipping Defenders.
Next game we have Showboats versus Stallions. I got to go with my boys. I'm going Showboats. I'm going with
So the Showboats are your boys now, huh?
yeah. The quarterback Cookus, dog. Absolute dog.
Cookus is the dog.
Yeah, I watched his game. I watched him today. They lost, but Cookus played great. So I'm sticking with my boys, the Showboats.
Let's go Stallions. Teddy Bridgewater.
What?
I just felt like saying random things at the end of that.
All right. Next up, we got Roughnecks versus Panthers.
Son of a, are Roughnecks my new team? They
I
might
guess.
be. I feel like every time you say the word roughneck, something pricks up inside of me.
You're gonna go Roughnecks.
Down south. Yeah, I'm gonna go Roughnecks.
I'll go with you. Then we got Battlehawks versus Bahamas. I'm gonna go Hamas.
Yeah, of course. That's
Okay.
my actual team. Bahamas, baby.
Okay. Great.
Battlehawks are such a oh, I was gonna say a word, can't say it. Battlehawks are such a cringe name.
They are.
Battlehawks. Battlehawks. What are you, a Nerf blaster? What the hell?